Alright, so last week, may actually been even the week before that, we did an activity called Lesson 1920 from Unit 1. And one of the big ideas in completing this activity was to actually learn how to find the missing angle measurements. But as important, one of the conjectures we came up with was the fact that if you select any two angles from lines that are parallel, only two things can happen. Either the angles will be congruent or equal in measure, or they will have a sum of 180. So when you are asked here for angles B and C, what's the equation? You have two choices. Either the two angles are equal to each other, or the two angles add up to 180. It's one or the other. Anytime you have parallel lines, there's only two choices. So one of these is a true statement, and one of these is a false statement. You could have taken the time to look back at the worksheet and kind of look at the angles here to see what's going on. Or you could actually make up a number here for one of the angles and see what happens. So for example, I could make this 110, which makes the angle next to it 70, because they have to add up that 180. This is 110 for the same reason, and this is 70 for the same reason. Angles that are next to each other when two lines intersect have to add up to 180. Then you could translate these angles up, which means that angle A would fall on top of C, angle B would fall on D, angle G would fall on E, and angle H would fall on F. So the question they're asking is, what is the relationship between these two angles, B and C? And you can clearly see they are not equal to each other, but they actually add up to 110. So the answer to this problem here is that the two angles have a sum of 180. Then it says describe a sequence of transformations to actually prove that. Didn't ask you to write more equations, didn't ask you to do anything but describe the transformation. I actually did it here, and basically I did a translation. So if you translate line X to line Y using vector XY, angle B will coincide or will fall on angle D. This angle will fall on this angle. Therefore, angles B and C will be a linear pair of angles. So if here goes to here, these two angles are next to each other, which makes them a linear pair of angles. If we go back to our theorem toolkit, or our definitions, a linear pair of angles is a pair of angles that are adjacent, they're next to each other, and they have a sum of 180. And this was a definition. So B and C will be a linear pair of angles by definition. By definition, they have a sum of 180. Alright, problem 6. The sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180. That's actually one of our theorems. So this is a true statement. Problem B. Vertical angles are a pair of non-adjacent angles formed by a pair of two lines intersecting and they're congruent. Vertical angles are two adjacent angles that have the same measurement. Again, they are created by two lines intersecting based on the diagram here. It's being illustrated. So this answer is also true. Corresponding angles occur when a transversal line crosses two non-parallel lines. And we talk about corresponding angles as being two lines. If two lines are parallel and intersected by a transversal, the key here is this is parallel, where here It's talking about non-parallel. So this would be false. Corresponding angles, in terms of our discussion at this point, only relate to parallel lines being cut by transversal. And the last one, the distance and direction for translation is called a vector. And that's the word I've been using with you, that when we do an arrow, that the length of the arrow is the distance, and then the arrowhead tells me the direction. So this is true. So 3 of the 4 answers are true. Problem 7, I went ahead and pulled in the two answers that I used from the homework assignment, problem number 4. Real similar in terms of looking for equations. So there's a plus b equal 180. So a and b are here. So if you'll notice, that's 110 and that's 127. So no, the two angles don't add up to 180. Does c plus d equal 180? That's these two angles here. You'll notice that they do add up to 180 and they do add up to 180. So this is true. The 3 angles of a triangle, A, B, C, add up to 180. Actually, 360. That's false. These 3 angles don't add up to 360. Neither do these 3 angles. That's false. Because by our theorem, they add up to 180 instead. So D is actually true. And then we're asking the question, if I take A plus B, does that equal D? So does 70 plus 40 equal 110? That's true. Does 62 plus 65 equal 127? That's also true. So 2 do not work, but B, D, and E do. Last page. All right, so the 2 angles are next to each other, add up to 180. So 180 minus 37 makes us 143. These 2 angles here, being a linear pair of angles, add up to 180, and then so do these 2 angles. Then if I translate 4 angles to the next, from one parallel line to the next parallel line, the 37 goes where A is, the 143 goes where B is. This angle here is 37, and this one's 143. So the answer is A is 37 degrees, B is 143, and C, which is down here, is 37. Alright, so for problem number 9, we have a rectangle, which means these 4 angles here are right angles. So these 2 angles here add up to 90 degrees. So if I take 90, take away the 10 degree angle, that means A is 80. Here, if I take the 90 degree angle and take away the 45, that means angle B is 45. This triangle here, I have 2 of the 3 angles, so 180, take away the 90, and then take away the 45. What's left is angle C, it's 45. Here I have 2 of the 3 angles. If I take 180, take away 90, and take away 10, what's left is 80 degrees. That's the angle measure of angle E. And then D, these 3 angles here add up to 180. So 180, take away 80, take away 45, what's left is 55. So that would be the angle measurement to D. And then for the final problem. Translations first. So we're going 4 right and then 2 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 down. So that's A prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. This is B prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. This is C prime. So that would be the first triangle, which is the translation. Then we're supposed to rotate 90 degrees clockwise. So that means from here to here, that's a length of 2. So if I go this direction to make a right angle, a length of 2, then I know B double prime will be at that location. So sometimes if I'm given a 90 or a 180 or even 270, I will actually draw in the angle so that when I'm rotating, I at least know that I've ended up where I'm supposed to. So this is B, this is A, and this is C. So I'm rotating on this point 90 degrees, and that's where the B's will match up, which is right there. So that means A will be here, and C will be, or this point will be here. So this is 3 points. This is A, this is C. And I can check here, for example, from B to A, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So slope idea works here. From B to C, it's 1, 2, 3, also 1, 2. So from B to C, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So again, it lines up pretty well. And then the last problem, or step, which is a reflection. So B is 2 away. So that means it's going to be 2 away on the other side. So this will be B triple prime. A is 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 away on the other side. So it's A triple prime. And then C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 on the other side. 3, 4, 5. And that's where C triple prime is. So if I connect these points, that would be the final answer for problem 10. Alright, so again, the main purpose of this is for you to see what the answers are going to be. Since I am not here today, will not be here also on Wednesday. My plan for Thursday at this time, because I'm out of town, taking my mother to the hospital, that you'll be, I'm going to be requiring everyone to do the retake on Thursday, and then I will give you the better score of the 2 tests, and that way you can at least feel like you've had an opportunity to hopefully improve upon the test, and hopefully these 2 videos have helped you see how to get to the different answers that you were asked to find in the first test. Version 2 Thursday, I'm requiring everybody to do it. The best score will end up in the grade book for the first 9 weeks. Go ahead and move on to the 2 videos that have been set aside for Unit 2 Lessons 1 and 2, both of which are in Canvas. And if you don't get those videos done, you may have time to work on them on Thursday, but I would encourage you to work on them outside of class. Don't forget you also have Delta Math 1.9 and Delta Math 1.10. 9 closes on Sunday, 10 is due on Sunday, so you also have some Delta Math stuff to do. So if you need to take your workbook to work on the Unit 2 Lessons 1 and 2, you are more than welcome to take the workbook with you.